Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now August 10th of 2023, and given that there's a lot of things happening right now between Bob Iger and the Disney board and everything revolving around Snow White 2024, and given that there's a lot of drama happening behind closed doors as well, everything ranging from Gal Gadot as well as Rachel Zegler to the cast that portray the seven dwarfs, or who are referred to now as the seven magical creatures per Disney, which is just ridiculous and pathetic in my mind. But when looking at Bob Iger here, he's been making the wrong calls ever since he came back several months ago, and ever since then we have seen box office failure one after the other, and we are already embracing more with the Marvels and now, yes, Snow White 2024 for next year. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. And let's get right into the subject, shall we? Now, what's really intriguing about everything that's happening with this Snow White film, which, by the way, Bob Iger and the board have laid something very specific on the table about a cancellation plan being 100% reliant on the official trailer and the feedback that they get from that, and whether or not it's going to be worse than The Little Mermaid is really a big discussion open on the table. Now, what's interesting about all of this is that we know everything ranging from this particular project to a lot of others that have actually entered into the Disney lockdown. A lot of that has to do with Sword in the Stone, the Moana remake, a Mulan sequel, as well as on top of that, everything ranging from Hercules to Hunchback of Notre Dame getting cancelled as well. There's a lot of things happening beyond this. Now, on top of all of that, with Snow White 2024 going through many issues behind the scenes for Disney, one major development has much to do with actress Gal Gadot. Recently, Gal created many issues for the Snow White brand and Bob Iger with his efforts of creating a Snow White universe. As it turns out, in a shocking turn of events, Gal reportedly walked away from all three Snow White spin-off projects, two of which were prequels and the other a sequel to the 2024 film planned out. After her departure from those actual films, it forced Bob Iger and the board to cancel the Seven Dwarfs spin-off film and the film focusing on the Evil Queen, and completely messed up their entire strategy for the original outline of the sequel to Snow White 2024 that created a major impact on their other film release dates not connected to Snow White. Additionally, Gal also held many arguments with the Disney board and Bob Iger through her agent and manager about how they are sabotaging her acting career by specifically choosing scenes that actually involve one of her worst acting presentations ever in her career, and is actually considered to be Gal's acting in the worst acting in the history of her career, apart from what she has done before in the past, that is going to make her look really bad in this film. Now, let me just pause right here for 1 second before I get to the next big development about this. Now, what's even all the more problematic is that initially she was tied with a contract for Snow White and, of course, having the Snow White prequels to set everything up for the Evil Queen and the Seven Dwarfs. Now, Disney tried to get her on this, they tried to pin her on that because of all the legal things that were in question, but Disney actually caved because Gal was absolutely refusing to come back. Disney knew going in that the backlash is only going to get worse with this film. The more and more they try to hide it, it only makes it worse, to be honest. But what's interesting also is the fact that this crumbled Bob Iger's master plan to create Snow White into a cinematic universe by Gal walking away. As much as I'm not all that big of a fan of Gal specifically, I don't think that she's all that great of an actress. That's just my opinion, by the way. Alright, that's just me saying this. Everything ranging from what she did and how that resulted in Bob Iger and the board's plan to make Snow White into this massive universe, and how that crumbled all because of Gal, is the one big one-up that I give for her as an actress. I gotta say, the fact that she was that brave enough to combat against her contract and really kind of call their bluff, walk away, and how Disney wanted to take legal action and that eventually fell apart too, and they just caved and canceled the movies out altogether, just goes to show you that if someone stands their ground enough, eventually Disney gives in. Now, when you look at stuff like this, what's interesting is that the Snow White 2024 official trailer, we talked about this. This is something that is getting completely reworked behind closed doors, and they are dialing down on the appearance of the 7 dwarfs. Now, on top of this too, Gal is looking to actually taking things further with Snow White 2024, if, of course, Bob Iger and the board do not cooperate and or agree to remove said scenes that are that horrible in the film, to the point where it is career damaging for Gal, and how she was initially promised by director Mark Webb with those scenes and how they would not be added into the final cut, and they ended up getting in there anyway. Now, though Gal walking away from the Snow White project completely dismantled Bob Iger's efforts to turn Snow White into a universe, is now all done for. The sequel is already in shambles, story-wise, since the Evil Queen was going to have some unknown twist with her return. The ending that was chosen for Snow White 24 also involves one of Gal's most cringeworthy moments in her career, that she is doing everything in her power to get them to cut from the actual final version of the movie. Now look, everything going on with SAG and the writer's strike and how this is creating a big domino effect on release dates, I'm not going to be too surprised if they even keep this movie in the pipeline to release in theaters, that they're going to delay it until the summer. We already know that their backup plan is, if they do delay it, they're going to have to shift it until June. And what's crazy is that if they do shift it until June and Dead Reckoning Part 2 keeps its release date, they're going to be competing with that, and it's going to destroy them. Now, the thing about Bob Iger, I've said this many times, they lost more subscribers for Disney Plus this year, and they're going to continue to lose more and more gradually. The worse the content that comes out, you're going to have more subscriber loss. I mean, that's just a given. So, look, at the end of the day too, I think that Gal made the right call, but also, she really did make a very terrible mistake and had a lack of judgment on signing up for Snow White in the first place. You know, it still makes absolutely no sense to me, the fact that she is a part of this, and the fact that she literally knows, or should have known, that Disney creates such horrible material that if you are associated with them, it just carries along with you for years. I mean, look at what happened, even though she was more of an unknown actress. Daisy Ridley. You know, she can't get any other movie or acting gig apart from Star Wars, and that's why she took up that role for the Rey movie almost immediately like that, at the snap of a finger, because she couldn't get a blockbuster film. Think about it. Have you guys ever seen Daisy Ridley in a major movie after The Rise of Skywalker? I don't think so. So, Gal is aware about this, and the fact that they're choosing the scenes that have bad acting of her to cut costs make absolutely no sense, and it just goes to show you that they really are gearing up for more backlash on the horizon. So anyway guys, I would love to hear what you all have to say about the entire situation below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.